So if you want to find out about this beer, I think it's local to LA, but it's blackmarketbrew.com.
Thanks, Black Market Brew.
I feel like they're a sponsor. They're
sponsoring our tasty cold libation.
So a few things before we get started on the actual Walking Dead related content. You saw Star Trek?
Yes.
Into Darkness.
Man, it was so
You loved it.
good. I loved it. I really did.
I liked it okay. I felt the Lindelofness of it for sure.
Yeah, and that's probably why I loved it so much. The J.J. Abrams-ness of it.
And it was full of crap.
Shut up. Why would you say that? So mean.
Okay, so I thought I do like how they make it more action and exciting, and there's more emotion, and it's funny in a lot of parts.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes the humor didn't work so well, but for the most part it did. But it doesn't feel like Star Trek. It takes away from the cerebral aspect of Star Trek.
Yeah.
And which is okay, I guess. I don't know.
It felt like a big summer
Star Trek needed a boost.
This is it.
Yeah.
If you want a fun summer romp, this is your picture.
But what I don't like is, go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah. I just have to say, ladies, you know what I'm talking about.
Boy.
Benedict Cumberbatch, he's so good. He has this weird kind of smile
Low
that he
voice,
does,
too.
and oh man, he's just he is something else.
So what I hate is there's two things. One is just really stupid plot elements that ignore things. I can't talk about it because I don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
But there's just so many little dumb things like,
sure.
Okay, there's one part, I can't talk about it. I'll give it a couple more weeks before I talk about it.
And then we'll pick it apart.
It's just like, it reminded me of other things that Lindelof has written. I love that guy, but I've decided I don't like his writing that much. Or at least the plotting parts of it. And another part is they just hit a lot of Star Trek beats from other movies, but
that's true.
It's unearned. It's like they're just trying to push a little button in your brain. Remember when that happened? Wasn't it great? Even though, like, for example, I can spoil this a little bit. Like, Kirk's in trouble and Spock is saving him, and it's very, very emotional, and it mirrors a scene from another movie, another Star Trek movie, but that movie came after several years of them being together on this TV show, and in this and on their 5-year mission. In this movie, they'd only known each other for like a year, so they're not like brothers in this universe. So why does he care so much?
So, and it's interesting because you're seeing this as a fan, right?
Yeah,
a fan who grew up watching Star Trek.
Yeah, and I'm not like a huge rabid Star Trek fan, but I have enjoyed a lot of Star Trek. Yeah.
Now I'm coming off of this as a huge rabid Star Trek: The Next Generation fan, but as somebody who never saw. I mean, I've only seen a couple episodes now of Star Trek, the original Star Trek.
Yeah, I never really cared for the original series that much.
And I really haven't seen the movies too much. So, I mean, bits and pieces here and there, but I haven't seen the one that this is kind of plays off of, and I'm not going to say what it is because it would ruin the surprise for y'all who haven't seen it. But I don't have a lot of that history. So when they talk about stuff like that, when it refers back to old things, I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, even without that, I can't decide whether it would be better without that or with it.
It's better without it.
With it, you kind of know.
I liked it more.
Oh, they're kind of trying to recapture something and it feels manipulative. Without it, still, like if I didn't know that in a previous movie those roles had been reversed, I would still think, why is he getting so emotional over this guy that he hasn't even seemed to have liked that much, and they've only known each other a short time, but they're acting like they're brothers.
You could tell they have a little camaraderie.
A little,
yes,
a little.
You could tell they got a thing going.
I didn't buy it. And there's a lot of people complaining about this movie, but it's got an 87 on Rotten Tomatoes, so obviously a lot of people like it too.
And one other person I have to mention, it's got who's the guy from Shaun of the Dead who was in it? Oh God, Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, somehow Scotty became the comic relief in this new alternate universe.
And his friend who looks like a oyster.
And I've been rewatching. I didn't see a lot of them, but I keep hearing that Deep Space Nine is actually the best series if you get past the first couple of seasons where it was boring. And so I've been watching, and Ronald D. Moore came on in season 3, and he was the main guy in Battlestar Galactica, which is brilliant.
Oh, okay. And
so I've been watching it, and I'm just appreciating the depth of it. And there's some really bad episodes in there, like horrible. But anyways, it makes me sad that this sort of new Star Trek sort of says, okay, forget all of that. It's not, it's a different universe, so none of that happened.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the writers say, no, both of those universes still exist in parallel, but we know now that they're not going to develop on those old storylines anymore. It's like, okay, now this is where all our attention's at. So that's a little sad.
Did you like the shots of future San Francisco?
Yeah, that was very cool.
It was fun, wasn't
like
it?
That.
Yep.
And they always still have the same Golden Gate Bridge in there, so you know where it is.
And a trolley. Did you spot the trolley?
No.
Yeah, it was adorable. I'm like, oh, there's a trolley.
So another thing that I did since we met last is I watched the new Arrested Development.
Yeah.
It all came out on Netflix on the same day.
How many?
15.
You saw all 15?
Yeah, they're about a half an hour each.
You saw all 15.
Most people saw that the first day. It took me about a week, so I stretched it out a bit.
Wow. And?
Or it's like 2 a day. Well, it's getting a lot of reviews of people who are kind of disappointed. It's very complex. It's not like the original Arrested Development. In a lot of ways it is, but in a lot of ways it's not. For one thing, the actors couldn't all be together in the same place, so each episode just features a few of them.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like the old show where it was about all their interaction together.
Right.
But it's brilliantly done. It's like a big puzzle piece because each episode takes place in the same time frame. And so you get a new appreciation of what's going on, seeing it from different people's perspectives.
Right.
And sometimes you thought it was one thing and it was completely something else.
Yeah.
And also it gets better I was a little disappointed after like the first 3. I'm like, I'm not into this. But then it started picking up and getting better and better.
Right.
And I still can understand why some people might not like it. But after I watched the whole thing, I was like, yeah, this is freaking awesome. So I loved it.
I read a story about how that was all put together and the giant wall map of how and the little threads that led from one story to the other. Yeah. And it sounds great. I mean, I'm also a huge Arrested Development fan, but I'm an Arrested Development fan that can't seem to find the time to actually watch the new Arrested Development.
You almost have to watch these within a short time frame to appreciate it because they're all interrelated. And if you forget what happened earlier, then you won't get the jokes. And it's very densely packed with jokes. And that's what I love about it is sometimes they won't hit the joke so hard that everyone will get it. So you miss a lot.
Right.
But you feel proud of yourself when you're smart enough to get something.
Right.
You know? This isn't necessarily an example of that, but they showed the matriarch Lucille Bluth years earlier, played by Kristen Wiig as a younger self.
Oh.
And she's there with her husband, and she's got this green mud mask on, and she's angry at Cinco de Mayo for some reason. I forget why, but she concocts this plan to have a holiday the day before Cinco de Mayo. She calls it Cinco de Cuatro. And, and the idea is to use up all the supplies that would normally be used for Cinco de Mayo so it can't happen. But she says this plan in rhyming couplets. And so it's like she's green and saying rhymes about how she wants to get rid of this holiday. It's like a play on the Grinch. She'll never say the Grinch, you know? It's awesome. Stuff like that.
Oh, it's so good. And does Ron Howard still narrate it?
He narrates it and he's in it a lot.
Oh, excellent.
As himself.
Excellent.
And he's great. I loved seeing him because I loved Happy Days, you know, and here he is in a sitcom for the first time since then. I loved it.
Who's the actor who plays Chachi in
God, why can't I think of Scott Baio?
Scott
He's
Baio.
in it.
And he, what's his character's name?
Bob blah blah. He's in it just a little bit, but he's really good. And the Fonzie's back
lawyer.
in it too.
Oh, he
has a way bigger part. Yeah.
He's great also.
Sleazeball lawyer.
That whole group of people, they're just so fabulous.
It like shows him saying, you know, the trial is in 3 months and it's really important that everybody shows up. And then they cut to the next scene and it's like 4 months later and he's like, I missed the trial. Sorry about that. And then finally,
so good.
I saw Before Midnight.
Oh, did you like
know
it?
about that?
Yeah. We debated whether we were going to see Star Trek yesterday or Before Midnight.
You should. Well, you like Star Trek, but
I do.
Before series, in case you don't know, is done by Richard Linklater, who did Dazed and Confused and Slacker, and he does all these independent movies, Waking Life, that are very cerebral and a lot of talking about philosophical ideas. And the first one was in 1993 or 4. It was a young Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy in Europe, and she's a French girl, and he meets her on a train. He's traveling from the U.S., and it's all just one night of them kind of falling in love and talking, and then
and they agree to meet like a year later.
They agree to meet, 6 months later,
Right.
but you don't know if they are going to actually meet or not because it ends. And then 9 years later, the Richard Linklater, Ethan Hawke, and Julie Delpy got together and did a sequel before Sunset.
Before Sunset, yes.
Yeah.
Before Sunset.
First one was Before Sunrise,
and this is Before Sunset. Yeah.
And it's them meeting up again 9 years later.
He published a book based on that experience, and he's on a book tour in Paris, and she meets him.
Right, and it's great because the characters have aged 9 years, and the actors have aged 9 years, and the director too. And now Before Midnight is 9 years after that.
Right.
It feels like it's improv, but it's not. It's very tightly scripted, and it's just very smart and emotional. And this whole series works together so well. And it's particularly, I love it because I'm Ethan Hawke's age, and so I saw each one of these at the same point in life, where he was. And Richard Linklater actually is 10 years older than them. So he was saying how when he directed that first movie, it felt like he was a long ways away from that, like a young 20-year-old touring Europe. But now this one, 18 years later, he's like, I don't feel that much older than you guys. It's almost the same. But they might do another one
catch up
later on in 9 more years. They'll have to, they kind of say, well, we have to live life and see what happens to us first. And
it's like the 7
incorporate it
series.
Yeah, it kind of is like that. Which I want to catch up on that too. They have 56 up, just came out.
I know.
I've seen them all except for that one.
I think I have too.
Really? Mm-hmm. Love that show.
Yeah, it's great.
That's, by the way, it's a documentary that was done in England about all these 7-year-olds, and the plan was to follow them every 7 years and explore how class influences how you grow up. And it ended up, they did do one every 7 years, 7, 14, 21, all the way up until now 56 years old. See these same characters. It ended up just being kind of like, these characters now, or these people, let's see how they are now.
Right.
The class thing sort of fell by the wayside, but
and
sort of.
And it's also interesting because it's not really, they didn't grow up in a bubble. They grew up being the stars of this documentary series. So that also
influences how things go in their lives.
Exactly.
That Neil guy, this young guy, he's really cute and vivacious, and then in the 14-year-old, something happened to him, and he just looks all fucked up, and
it's kind of
he's got
sad.
mental problems, and he ends up being homeless. But then in later episodes, he starts getting into politics, and he gets his shit together a bit.
They are so cute when they're 7. Everybody's adorable when you're 7, and then all of a sudden you become an adult and you're not quite as adorable.
That's true.
Everyone's so cute when they're 7.
Yeah. But I still wanted to know what happened to them. Okay, that's enough. I knew it was going to be a long intro section today, but let's move along to the news.
Let's do it.
News about The Walking Dead. So this first one is not really about Walking Dead, but it's about zombie and interesting TV stuff that's coming up. So World War Z comes out on June 21st.
Yeah.
I'm going to see it.
I'm going to see it too, but it's not getting good reviews.
Oh, well, I looked on Rotten Tomatoes, and it has 80%.
Does it?
There's only 5 reviews up there. 4 are positive, 1's negative.
That's good. That's hopeful. By the way, your pal Damon Lindelof helped rewrite the ending.
I know, and somebody said they liked the whole thing except the ending. That was one of the reviews.
That is funny. That's really funny. I heard a little bit, a little different, but it was only from one reviewer.
Okay, what did they say?
Yeah, they didn't like it at all. They called it brain dead.
That's kind of what I thought. I was afraid it was going to suck royally.
Massive budget and new third act can't save stars' big screen corpse caper from, quote, elaborate uselessness.
That's elaborate uselessness sounds like Damon Lindelof. That's why I don't like his writing.
Well, I think part of the problem, and what was always going to be part of the problem of World War Z, from what I've read about it, there was a big article in Vanity Fair about it, and I think part of the problem is World War Z, the book, is a really difficult book to make into a movie. If you're going to pick a book to make a movie out of, that's a tough one.
Well, it sounds like one of these things too, where the producers were like, forget all that.
Yes,
let's do this.
That's exactly, sounds like that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I kind of like about it, based on what I know so far, is it's the first time they've had a really like big budget, world spanning zombie movie.
Yeah,
which would be interesting to see.
Yeah.
But it would be more interesting if it was done really well. And it sounds like it's okay or even pretty good. Some of the reviews are pretty, pretty positive about it until you get to the end.
Right.
The Lindelof part. So I'm still kind of excited. It sounds like from what the reviews I read that it's a little better than I thought it was going to be. I don't know. We'll see. I'll see it no matter what because I'm a Zed
I will
head.
too. And we'll have to review it for the show.
Yeah, we should review it for the show.
This wasn't the review, by the way.
No. And we'll at least talk about it a little bit. We might not spend a lot of time. But True Blood Season 6 premieres on June 16th. Yeah! I guess Rutger Hauer is going to be in it.
Oh.
I'm a little nervous because the showrunner left in the middle of the season and they got somebody new. And this is the first year without Alan Ball.
And you love Alan Ball.
Oh, yes, totally. He's amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm a little nervous, but
you should be nervous.
We'll see. Last year kind of sucked at the end.
You think so?
With Bill being...
Oh, I loved it. It's totally over the top and so True Bloody. And I know a lot of our listeners are not into True Blood.
Some aren't. Yeah.
I can't blame you. It's not for everybody. That's for sure. It's very campy. But if you can sort of, if you like that kind of thing, and enjoy it for what it is, it's a fun little, carnival ride of a TV show.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked the season before last a lot.
I've even read all the Charlene Harris books.
Yeah, she's like working on her final one or something.
It just came out. The last final Sookie Stackhouse book.
Did you read it?
Nope. Not yet.
Audible.com?
Yeah, you know what?
That might be a good one.
That would be a good one. Thank you, my friend.
And Dexter, the final season of Dexter starts on June 30th.
Have you watched that yet?
I've seen it all the way up until now, yes.
Oh.
Which I've mentioned several times on this podcast.
And which evidently I've ignored. But I hear it's great.
It's uneven. Yeah. And I've said this many times on the podcast, but I felt like it should be better than it is. Like the writing sometimes feels like it's too predictable, but Michael C. Hall is amazing and just his acting makes it all worthwhile. And the writing is pretty good most of the time. That's what I'd say about it.
A lot of people love that show.
Yeah, it has some rabid fans.
That's one of the ones that, next time I have a bad like sinus infection, I have to stay home or whatever. That's the one I'm going to go through.
Yeah, I'm trying to think whether I would
right after Arrested
press
Development
for you to watch Battlestar Galactica first. But I want David to watch that.
Oh, yeah. Dave is going to be so into Battlestar Galactica.
I would think so. It might be a little too militaristic for him. I don't know.
It's right up his alley.
Really,
he's a Game of Thrones guy. Come on.
Yeah. Okay, and then finally on the TV front, Under the Dome, the TV show starts on June 24th.
Coming
on
up,
CBS.
man.
It's 6 episodes. I think they're like jealous of how cable TV has these limited run, really gritty shows, and they want to do their version of it,
right?
Because they're talking about doing just a handful of episodes yearly, indefinitely. So it's ongoing, but it's only a few episodes. One of the episodes, I think the second one, is directed by Jack Bender of Lost.
Oh,
fame.
Yeah.
And I love the directing of Lost.
Yes.
I think it's so well put together. So I'm really excited about that.
Oh, that's great. Who's starring in that?
Well, the only name I know is Dean Norris, who's Hank of Breaking Bad.
Oh,
he's like the villain.
So great.
So great.
Wow. He plays a villain.
Perfect role for him.
Dang.
It's just a brilliant casting. I can't say exactly why because I don't want to spoil anything, but if you watch it and you've seen Breaking Bad, you'll know why this is brilliant casting.
Well, can you tell me the name of it?
He plays Jim Rennie, Big Jim.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it's developed by Brian K. Vaughan, who worked on Lost and Why the Last Man and now Saga, which everybody loves. This comic book everybody loves.
By the way, speaking of really quickly of small little series that are on cable these days, did you see Top of the Lake?
No, I never heard of it.
Jane Campion.
Oh, right. You asked me this on our last episode. And it stars the girl from Mad Men, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. We finished it and it was great.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I should check that out.
Yeah.
There's too many good TV shows on right now.
Well, that's a good problem to have.
Many. Okay, in an interview on earsucker.com, Norman Reedus said of Walking Dead season 4, quote, "The scripts this season are..." Wait, I should do it in his voice. "The scripts this season are just amazing." The sets are
Nice.
crazy. It feels like we've shot about 3 movies already. It's super intense and everything's for a specific reason, and it's great right now. They've introduced a way to make zombies scary again, and they're terrifying. The new threat is just unreal. I can't, of course, tell you what it is, but it's brilliant writing. Threat.
What could the new threat be? What little thing does? I mean, do they shoot lasers out their eyeballs now? I mean,
Maybe it's
what's
Carl. No, just kidding.
the new threat that the zombies have?
Yeah, I don't know. Monster zombies.
They're really bad
2-headed
breath?
zombies.
I can't imagine superpower zombies. What new thing could they pull out of their pocket?
No. Like in zombie games, they often will have these mutants that have spikes coming out of their head or something
Because
like
that is a zombie game, but this is real life, Jason.
I'm sorry. I don't know. He also mentioned they recently wrapped filming on season 4, episode 2, and are starting on episode 3.
So things are happening
are in the filming,
down
yeah.
in our favorite town of Sonoy, Georgia.
AKA Woodbury. Walking Dead has another deal this season with Hyundai, so we can expect to see more pristine Hyundais that never get dirty or damaged by anything.
Nothing. You can flip them.
Looks so, in my opinion, nerdy for an action hero to be riding around in.
It balances it out. The yin to the yang.
This episode is not sponsored by Hyundai.
But Hyundai, contact us if you want.
If you want me to change my tune, you have to pay me off.
Hyundais are so cool.
If you hear me saying
sexy,
that, you'll
man.
know. They're not bad. I drove a Hyundai for a while. Well, it was my roommate's, but he always wanted me to drive. I had this scary incident. I was coming down this like slope and I pushed on the brakes and nothing happened. And then I pushed again and it braked. And I guess when you press on the brakes, I don't know if this is in all cars, but in some, it switches from one disc to another each time you press. And one of them had crapped out.
Oh my God.
It took me a while to figure that out.
It's not Hyundai's fault necessarily, but oh my God.
Or maybe that was a Yugo. Anyway.
Yes, it's Yugo. It's definitely Yugo, not Hyundai. We love you, Hyundai.
No, Yugo's really mad. Wait, are they still around? I don't know. So during the speech at Barclays Global Technology, whatever that is, AMC CEO Josh Sapan said, quote, "We hope that zombies live forever, and we've just begun to find out what the post-apocalyptic world is like, so that we'll be sitting here at the Barclays conference in 2022 discussing the fact that Walking Dead is not over. And at that point, I think any one of the companies will have replaced the United States government and will be in a complete free enterprise world in which there are no nations." Whatever.
So that's how he wants it to end.
I have a feeling
end.
this is the guy who probably is the reason why Mazzara is not around anymore. I don't know for sure, but
it's that guy.
And he also, he says about Netflix's original programming. He said, quote, "I think House of Cards, first out of the gate, was in all understanding pretty good. So I'm not sure that it's necessarily pointedly itself helpful to us. Now they're producing, meaning helpful to AMC, that Netflix put out a good show." He says, "Now they're producing logically for themselves. So I don't think in isolation is a great thing for us because we're a seller. So if they're producing for themselves, arguably they're satisfying some appetite by their own hand." It sounds like he's sort of saying, Netflix, you shouldn't be doing that. You're going to piss us off and we're not going to give you our shows or something like that. I don't really know what to read into that.
Strange. Yeah, I don't know either. I could see where they would be pissed off though at Netflix.
And yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
As an original, a provider of original content. By the way, is House of Cards ever going to be shown on television, or is it?
No.
It's only a Netflix available product.
Yep. And neither will the new Arrested Developments. Wait, I think in foreign markets they will. And then finally, he said he took a few moments to defend the cable TV tradition of bundling channels as opposed to offering them a la carte. He says, quote, "It's given birth and sustained this incredible diversity of content
True.
as a consequence of the bundle, both in terms of news and on the political front. 3 channels of C-SPAN, great diversity in editorial content and minority-oriented programming. It's just an interesting thing not to lose sight of." So
He's
you
right.
agree with that, huh?
Absolutely. David says that too.
Yeah, he does. I was wondering what your opinion would be because, me not thinking of the practicalities of it all, I'm just like, I want to be able to order a single channel if I want and not have to pay for everything.
Yeah.
But then if you think about it from this point of view, well, there's a lot of niche things that might not even be available, right?
Yeah, exactly. Weird little channels that like Palladia.
But I can't help but think that there would be a way for that and that it's just these guys wanting to maintain their empires.
Yeah, I mean, there's that point of view too, certainly. And if it's good, there's going to be demand.
Yeah.
So it's a funny thing, and I think all of television, probably a lot of media, is trying to find its footing in this whole new digital age. It feels like we're kind of going through a transitional time, and it'll be interesting to see how it all lands.
Well, here's what I want. I want to be able to subscribe and maybe have different tiers of subscriptions based on how many hours of TV you want to watch a month.
Oh, that's interesting.
But then you get to pick from all of the shows.
Yeah.
And watch them whenever you want.
Right.
That's what I want.
Everything available to you, and it's by hour. Interesting.
Well, like say if I want to watch 20 hours of TV a month, I pay $8, and if I want to watch 100, then I pay 20 or 40 or something like that.
It'll be so much more expensive than that.
But right now I pay $8 a month for Netflix, and I can watch unlimited TV, on there.
That they have.
But it's what they have.
Right.
Right. So if I double that to 16, then can I have better shows? Or you're saying it's going to be way more expensive than that?
We want it all.
Well, that's what we're moving towards, I think.
Yeah.
And it's, from my point of view, it's people who are in charge of the old guard, aka cable TV, who are locking us into paying for things that we don't even want to watch.
Yeah, and
I don't care about sports, and yet if I want to get cable, I have to pay for ESPN.
Yeah, right, exactly. You don't care? Yes, you do.
No.
You watch the Giants. Don't you go to the Giants games?
Nope.
Oh,
I've been to maybe, 5 or 6 Giants games in my whole life.
Wow.
Which is fun. I enjoy that. But it's like, you go, I don't know. It's not me, It's something I do every once in a while.
When the Talking Dead boys and I were talking about hockey, you were just like making a grocery list.
I was changing the subject of video games.
Yeah, that's true. You're a very good sport about that, actually. No pun intended.
I like to play tennis or volleyball.
Yeah, and you're actually a really good tennis player. I've played you, and I think you're good.
That's just because I beat you. No, I'm just kidding. I think you beat me at least once. Anyway. Okay, next in this behind the scenes video clip, Walking Dead executive producer David Alpert said, "Whatever you think's going to happen in season 4, I guarantee we're going to surprise you. There's a broader, bigger world out there, and now that we've introduced the notion that there are more survivors out there, it's only going to get more and more interesting. We're not taking the brick off the accelerator. It's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get badder. It's only going to get meaner and bloodier."
They say that every single season, but that's okay.
The part I like is the focus on the bigger world.
Right.
Because I want to not get claustrophobic in the prison.
Yes, exactly.
So I hope he's truthful about that.
Bigger world, pal.
Then this last one is a little spoilery, so if you don't like that, move along. But it's from an article on Examiner.com. Walking Dead Locations.com published set location photographs that readers sent in. And one shows army tents set up in the parking lot of, I guess, a convenience store.
Really?
Another one shows some huge military trucks. And there's a rumor that an airplane is going to crash into the store. So maybe they'll have some kind of army presence. I think that would make sense. Because if anybody will have lasted this long, you'd think it'd be the heavily armed guys.
Is it, spoiler alert, so do go forward if you don't want to hear what I'm going to say. Would that be consistent with the comic?
Nope.
Interesting.
There's not that I can think of. I don't think the military has shown up at all. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, Jaden. Okay, that's it for the news.
Attention shoppers, Deadcast Top 5 in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hello, can you hear us?
Hello. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, good. Yeah, I can hear you. How you doing? Kenny, right?
Yeah.
Hey, cool.
Hi, Kenny.
Hi.
How are you?
A little tired, but good.
Kenny has you have the graveyard shift, right?
Yeah.
What do you do? You drive?
I stock shelves at Walmart.
Oh, wow. That'd be perfect place for the zombie apocalypse.
It really would be.
It would be.
You know, does anybody actually ever have the graveyard shift at a graveyard?
I don't think so. Because when you're a kid, didn't you ever go to a graveyard as a kid just to mess around?
Heck yeah, I love graveyards, actually.
Did you see people working?
No. Now that I think about it, I really only saw people during the day.
I don't know if I actually ever did that. I think I was too chicken.
There's gotta be people working the graveyard shifts at a graveyard. Please, if you work at a graveyard, let us know if you have graveyard shifts.
Or even if you
Thank
don't.
you.
So the reason why we're talking to this guy, Kenny, who I just said hello to, just so you know, is that a while back I asked you guys to send in your Deadcast Top 5 ideas, and Kenny sent in one, and Karen and I thought it was good. So here we are. And that idea was the top 5 ways that we'd want The Walking Dead to end.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. So did you come up with 5, Kenny?
I did.
Okay, why don't you go first?
Okay. My number 5 is this being Rick's coma dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, because out of all the other ways it could end, it'd be the only way I would not want them to tell me how the zombie apocalypse happened.
Right.
You know, I completely agree with you.
Is that your number 5?
It is.
Okay.
I think I have it down here as how it shouldn't end.
Oh, you don't want it to end that way?
No.
So you don't agree?
No, I think Kenny's saying it shouldn't end like that, right, Kenny?
No, that's his number 5 way that he wants it to end.
I think it should end like that.
Oh, you do?
It should and shouldn't, because it'd satisfy me and not satisfy me.
You know what? I thought about that and thought, you know, people these days don't like when things end as a dream because it feels like a cop-out. But for some reason, I think this might be okay because it goes back to the beginning of the series. That's why. Because a lot of times things end as a dream, but there was no foreshadowing.
Right.
But this, he starts off in a coma. So it would be a little more like interesting. But let me say my number 5.
Do it.
Because it's similar. So my number 5 is that Rick wakes up from his coma and it was all a dream, and feeling relieved, he stumbles out to look for Lori and Carl, and then swarms of aliens arrive and take over the planet. And he says, "Dope."
That I would.
You'd be okay with
yeah,
that?
that might be my new top 5.
Okay, what's your number 5?
Yeah, and my new number 5 is Jason's new ending.
Okay, Kenny, number 4.
My number 4 is, it's kind of, did you ever read World War Z?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. The group, what's left of the group, heads west and finds what's left of the government in the Rocky Mountains.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. And then they just kind of hole up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I get the feeling, I mean, when you start thinking about the way it's going to end, it's like, well, either they all die or they find a safe place. Or there's like one person left and they're going off into the sunset or something like that. So this is a version of, they find a safe place. Okay, my number 4 is kind of long. Towards the end of the series, only Rick, Carl, and Judith have survived. They're on the road looking for shelter, but then Rick dies, saving Carl and Judith. We pick up the story 20 years later. Carl is the leader of a town full of people, much like the governor was, only he's a benevolent leader, and he has a wife and a child on the way. He and Judith and their people are building things up, a park here, a market there, lots of farmland. At the edge of town, there's a sign, quote, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free." And most hopeful of all, the billions of Zeds that were formed at the outbreak of the apocalypse are finally dying out and disintegrating. Now all they have to worry about are the newly dead, and they have processes and procedures for that. Everyone alive is a swift, efficient zombie killer. And so the long process of rebuilding civilization begins, and then swarms of aliens arrive to take over the planet. So slightly more hopeful.
And then at the end, your hopes get crushed.
They all die.
I like it. I like it. And little shade of Fido there, because you remember in Fido, when anyone dies, their head gets buried in a special head box.
Everyone, it would be something like that.
Yeah, everyone gets especially beheaded so that they don't come back.
Right.
Nice.
Thank you. Your turn.
Okay. So actually, wow, my list really echoes Kenny's. I'm right behind you.
Okay.
Survivors move on and eventually meet up with government military troops who have established a safe haven in, say, San Diego, because you want to establish a safe haven in places with nice weather and nice climates, right? So instead of the Rocky Mountains, like I know everyone thinks, it gets very cold and snowy there. And I was thinking, well, if you could either be a safe haven in, say, the Rocky Mountains or in San Diego, I pick San Diego.
Yeah, you want to be where the zombies can be nice and limber.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And I believe that all state / country borders have been dropped, and there is a whole new world order and a better one where for somebody like me is in charge. And I'll be a benevolent dictator requiring all cats and dogs to be treated as gods.
Are all of yours nice? I'm just wondering.
No.
Okay.
That's not that
good.
Nice.
That's pretty nice. Everything's better than it was before.
Well, because I'm in charge. We'll see how nice I stay. Power tends to corrupt.
Okay.
Kenny.
My number 3?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Glenn and Maggie are the only survivors, and they find a nice little place somewheres in the world and live happily ever after.
Aww.
Like a Walmart?
Yeah, Walmart somewhere.
That's so nice.
That's nice. What town do you think they finally settle in?
Probably somewheres in northern Canada.
I like that.
No one up there, so.
But it's a Walmart, so it doesn't really matter.
It's
Yeah, it's
true.
the same everywhere.
Maybe I can be their friend.
Okay, my number 3 is my gruesome ending.
Let's hear it.
Carl and Rick are the last two alive. Carl gets bitten. As his fever increases, we see the world through his eyes, and he turns and he's shambling around, and we get like a skewed, crooked view of everything, kind of fuzzy, from a zombie's point of view.
Yeah.
And then the last thing we see is Rick's terrified face as Carl bears down on him and chomps him.
The end.
The end. Scene.
That's a good one.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I was trying to be entertaining or interesting, but also think, how would I really want it to end? And I don't want it to be kind of open-ended. I'd rather something definitive happen. And that's seems to be either everyone dies, or the problem is over, or they find a really super safe place.
Right.
But I don't know, the super safe place and everything is nicey nice might be, I guess I can't decide whether I'd rather it be gruesome or nice. I think with this show, it'd be better if it was nice.
Yeah, they've been through a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
I would rather it be gruesome.
Oh, really?
Kenny wants it gruesome.
I mean, I'm kind of on the fence, but
It's a dark story, so it needs a dark ending.
okay.
You know what? You're right.
Speaking of which.
I know. Speaking of which, okay, here's my dark ending. And actually, it's very similar to what you just said, Jace. Zombies win. David said it when I asked him. He said to me, and I quote him, "Let's face it, it's going to end with Zombie Rick, right?" That's exactly what he said. The planet becomes, on the upside, the planet becomes a much quieter place. Zombies don't yell, and they aren't intentionally mean. Sure, they'd eat
This
you,
is not gruesome.
but
This
only
is still
because they're
nice.
hungry. What? It's not very nice.
Zombies are not mean.
They've taken over. They're just hungry. No, they're not mean, and they're very.
So instead of going like, "Rah," they're like, "I'm really sorry about this." Well, what am I gonna do?
There's a lot of yelling, and people are People in this story are the real meanies. Let's face it.
Yeah,
The zombies are
that
just
asshole
satisfying.
Glenn.
They're just the zombies are satisfying a hunger.
Much like a 2-year-old.
Right. Exactly. All right, it's your turn, Kenny.
My number 2 is the group is wandering somewheres and they run into a herd and everyone dies. They get overrun and die.
Yep.
And that's it.
And then fade to black.
Boom.
Wow, that would be a dark, dark ending.
I have a feeling there's a high chance of that happening.
Yeah. You think Kirkman's that dark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, after all this time, haha.
Hey, Kenny, do you read the comic?
Up until where they meet the prisoners in the prison.
Oh, so pretty early on. Did you lose interest
I'm
at
not
that
far
point?
into it.
Did you lose interest or?
No, I picked up the first 48 issues in that soft cover.
Yeah, yeah.
And I read it on break when I'm not playing Magic.
Cool.
I don't read it. I only read it like once or twice a week.
Got it.
We hear you.
Okay, here's my number 2. It's my turn, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, this is probably actually the one that I want the most, even though it's not my number 1.
Okay.
30 years into the future, there's a giant city in Alaska where I feel like it should be an occult place, so the zombies are slower and easier to deal with. Daryl and Carol are telling their grandson the story of the last days of the zombie apocalypse and how everyone else in the group fared. And then we find out who died, who just got lost along the way, who we know, or maybe is safe somewhere else, something like that.
Yeah. I like it.
Thanks.
That's nice. My number 2 is Rick and everyone just continues ad infinitum at the prison. Herschel's farm prospers.
12 seasons.
They eventually even have chickens and cows and bees. And maybe they even grow some hops so that they can make beer. Kind of like urban hipster farmers in Oakland. The zombies shamble by now and again, but they're way slowed down. So, yep, just continuing ad infinitum at the prison. And the farm is doing really, really well.
I hope to God that does not happen.
And it becomes a show about farming.
With how-to tips.
Right.
Okay, that was your number 2? 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Kenny, number 1.
My number 1 is it's just Carl, Rick, and Judith, and they're in a couple years later. Judith is like 3 or 4, maybe, just a little toddler.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just looking for a safe place to live until Rick gets bit and Carl has to put him down. And while Carl and Judith are fleeing, Judith gets bit and he has to put her down. And then Carl's the only survivor and he walks off into the sunset carrying Judith's body.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Dark. Really
Yeah, that's dark. And yeah, I could probably see something like that happening too. Although, well, I don't know. We just read that Mr. Sapin wants it to go on for 10 years, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm guessing.
I think maybe 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah.
It depends on how long Andrew Lincoln is prepared to stay,
that's true.
and also
Well,
how long